to the Salty Truth Podcast. I'm Lindsay K. Foreign, your luxury-loving, deal-closing, reinvention queen who has literally built a career off of saying the things that only other people think. Each week, I get real about ambition, relationships, money, motherhood, and what it truly means to be a powerhouse woman balancing big dreams and real life. I get the opportunity to sit down with individuals that are truly making transformations and redefining success, raising the bar and refusing to play small. So let's get cozy, grab yourself a glass of wine, martini, whatever that fabulous drink might be, hit subscribe, and baby, let's get salty. Hey Salties, Linz here, and welcome back to another episode of The Salty Truth. You are in for one hell of an episode today, let me tell you. My monthly co-host, Zale Lacey, is back with me today, and I am telling you, we are getting in it today. If you have ever felt like, one, you have maybe been a prisoner to yourself in your own mind, we are knocking the shit out of that today. We are talking real talk, no fluff, no bullshit. We are getting into the weeds of what we all need to do to be our best, push our own successes, and get the hell out of our own thoughts. Hey, Zale.
Hey.
How are you?
So good. So happy to be back.
Oh, yeah, baby. This is like one of my faves. Well, I'm kind of doing like back-to-back episodes today for recording. So what a fun day because my daughter was on before and now I have my bestie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, baby.
It's like the OG group.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I love it. So I am stoked to get into today's conversation because one, I feel like you and I have had to talk a lot about this in the years that we have grown up together through many stages of our lives. And I just think it's something important for everybody because this is a huge issue, I feel like, getting into our own minds and being stuck in our own thoughts and really being the biggest thing stopping ourselves from having advancement, growth, whatever you might call it. So anyway, you tell me.
I totally agree. I'd be bold enough to say that it's a part of the epidemic that we deal with mental illness.
Yeah.
Due to a lot of the social pressures or, just life, and we're putting it on ourselves. We're not getting out of our own way, and we're having a hard time getting past that.
Yeah. No, I would agree.
Yeah.
There is a huge social component, and I think one of the things that might hinder somebody from really creating their success or being who they want to be would be being worried about what people say.
What they would say, what they would think, what they might be looked like, or perceived by,
Yeah.
you know. I would say that provides a lot of pressure on people, whether it's your professional life, your personal life. There's this ideology of how you should look or how you should present or how you should act in order to meet that social status, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I would agree. And it's interesting too, because really like going out and trying to build your own thing, I do think you worry about what people are going to say, what people are going to share or whatever. And I heard something the other day that I think was honestly such great advice is that people that are going to hate you or hate on you are going to help you grow. They're your biggest marketers.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, I would say there's truth to that. And then on the flip side, I've heard from Gabby Bernstein, the tormentor is the mentor.
Ooh, I like that. I haven't listened to Gabby for a while.
Yeah. And that has always stuck with me because anytime I'm having internal turmoil with someone or something, I'm like, this tormentor's the mentor. I've got something I've got to learn and gain from this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I do like that. And I also think at the end of the day too, like you literally just cannot give a fuck about what people say or think about you.
Oh.
As we've learned.
We've learned through our own life experiences.
Yeah.
I would say the very first time in my life I remember learning that lesson was when I was getting a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
I had to remove all distraction and thoughts of worrying about what people thought because I had to take care of me and I had to take care of my own mental health.
Yeah.
And I knew where my integrity was. I knew where my actions were, where my intentions were from day one to the point that we got to at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I would definitely say that was an area that I learned that lesson really well too, is going through a divorce. And I guess being young, we talk about a lot, being a young mom and things like that. Like we had to learn very early on that if we give in to this mindset of that bullshit, it can keep you stuck. It can keep you underground. Like, waste of fucking time. And the other thing too, when it comes to other people's opinions or other people's thoughts about you, or even giving a shit what you're doing, I learned this years ago and it has stuck with me, that whatever anybody says or thinks about you is none of your damn business, because it is something perceived in their own mind, their own foundation, how they were raised, whatever. It's literally none of your business because it actually doesn't pertain to you. It's just that other person's way of thinking.
Absolutely.
So fuck what people think. Has nothing to do with you.
No, absolutely nothing. And I think that when people consume their energy entirely worried about that, and that's their driving force, they're causing themselves to spiral. They're causing themselves to feel anxious. They're feeling unworthy. So then you go into self-esteem, mental health, and then they're not able to produce what they're trying to produce, whether it's a personal goal or a professional goal, because they're so wrapped in and worried about what the other person's thinking rather than just taking action, rather than having that personal resilience to move forward and stand in their own truth and know, I have this to offer.
Yeah.
And I am going to push forward no matter what anyone thinks, because I know that I have value to give back. Yeah.
See, I like that point. And having value to give back. Like, when you know that about yourself and you have, I guess, that confidence that you carry, like, you can do anything.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, what do you think, either in yourself or what does it take for someone to get out of their own way to do that? To be able to stand in their own truth and stand in their own value? Because so many people are struggling with it today, I think.
Yeah. No, I think it is, because there's a lot of like, I think there's a struggle with it because there's also that idea of perfectionism, as well as what other people are doing. I mean, you see on social media, right? If you go through and you start scrolling on social media and you're getting fed an algorithm that's coming to you, like, you might start comparing yourself to what other people are doing, or influencers, or what a perfect mom might look like, what a perfect wife might look like, what, a CEO might look like. And I think at the end of the day, you cannot pour into that bullshit. You have to be confident in who you are, and you have to drive your own power. And it goes back to that energy. The energy you give is the frequency you put out.
Absolutely.
And you have to build the confidence into knowing that you can pursue and succeed. And I think having patience with that. If somebody is starting something new, or starting a new career, or starting a business, whatever that might look like, there are stepping stones. Like, it does not all come at once. But like, the more like micro steps you take on a regular basis to build towards that, to gain the knowledge, to gain the success over time, that is going to deposit into your confidence bank. You're going to start having wins. And I think that you have to be patient with yourself and your development and growth to really succeed in what you're wanting to. And that I feel like is a virtue that a lot of people are losing
Yeah.
because we get things so quick.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're not seeing success quick or we're not getting a win quick, it's like, oh, well, I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not going to be patient and again, you're not going to get your ass up and do the work that has to be done to accomplish it, then yes, you're not going to get anywhere. But I think by doing those things and pouring into yourself that way is really what builds that character.
Yeah. I want to back up. I feel like you dropped like a salty bomb here. Your listeners really need to take away, when you find yourself, because it might be somewhat normal for us to all kind of get caught in that mindset at times, right?
Yeah.
But being able to pull yourself out of it. And the salty bomb that I want to back up to that I feel that you dropped was the energy that you pour in is the energy that you're going to get out.
Yeah.
And I think people recognizing that they are 100% responsible for those thoughts that they're having and those negative feelings that they're having, even if they're perceiving it's someone else putting it on them when really it's their own mind, right? So being able to move past and reminding themselves just like a quick thought of, hey, I'm going to get the energy that I'm putting in, I'm going to get it back out.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a quick tool for someone as a self-reminder because we're going to fall into those at times.
Yeah.
And then the other one that you dropped was being patient.
Yeah.
Being patient. That end result doesn't come miraculously, and that end result might change.
Yeah.
Right? So the vision of what we have is success. That might change.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like just a couple weekends ago, I remember telling you, I just upped my fucking ante for what my end goal looks like.
Yes, you did.
That just went up. What I thought is where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
I actually want to be higher.
Yeah. Well, and learning where that kind of threshold is for yourself is by having experiences and going out and doing something different or new.
Yeah.
Because how are you going to know really what you want to do or really where you want to go if you're not taking risks or opportunities to actually experience something different?
I would agree.
And it goes into our point, like, I guess the imprisoning of your own self. If you're not willing to meet new people, take new risks, take on opportunities, or actually find new opportunities, like, what are you doing? How are you taking your own mentality and keeping it stuck, or your own thoughts and keeping it stuck instead of having or pursuing growth? Because I think at the end of the day, we really stop ourselves. We're our biggest critics. And sometimes we might say, like we were talking earlier, oh, someone might make fun of me, or someone might talk shit about what I'm doing, or someone might be negative. But realistically, that's usually just in our heads, and we're allowing that to stop ourselves from doing something, even though that hasn't happened, because we are the ones pulling ourselves back, or we are the ones worried about what we might do or say, or if we're going to look stupid. And that's just 100% why imprison your own mind that way.
Yeah.
And discount yourself instead of taking the steps that you want.
Yeah. I think another part of this is the ability that people have either lost or maybe never had is to have their own critical thinking. Because the social aspect that we mentioned earlier, you grow up in a home, and let's say you have certain political beliefs or religious beliefs, or you're the people that you're surrounded by do certain things, and you've never paused to think, how does this make me feel? But you continue to show up and you do that day after day when really you're miserable.
Yeah.
You're miserable because you're imprisoned in your mind and you're not able to speak your truth.
Yeah. Well, and being unable to speak your truth, I mean, that's a terrible feeling.
Oh.
And I know that feeling because I've been there, you know, and it's something that I had to develop in my character and develop in my own self to be able to be genuine, authentic, loving to who I am. And again, not giving a shit what people think or say. Because if you can't speak your truth and really speak to what you believe, you feel like shit, essentially. And you feel like you're almost like captured. You can't present or be who you want to be. And you almost, you know, and I think this happens especially when you're younger, when you're really trying to figure out who the hell you are. You're almost impersonating.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Imposter syndrome is a real thing.
Yeah. You're almost impersonating, not necessarily the impersonation of like, okay, this is what I want to achieve in life, so I'm going to start living this way. It's more, I don't know who I am, or I am worried to speak my truth, so I am going to play small and fill this little social gap mold and just be.
Yeah.
Which is bullshit. None of us want to do that.
No.
And it goes well in going into imposter syndrome. I think that this is a really good topic to kind of head on here is when you're thinking about, yes, we can imprison ourselves with our own thoughts, break through that. How do you do that? And some people call that imposter syndrome, or you might think it is. But what advancements can you have by actually living and practicing the life that you're trying to gain? So for example, we say dress for the job that you want, not the job you have.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, why not start actually trying to live the life you want instead of living in the life that you have?
Oh, 1,000%. What is that saying? You write your goals as if they've happened.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I don't think it's like, I think some people might think that it's being fake. I've heard individuals, in fact, I have been told that while I'm like building my business and things that I'm doing, that I might be coming off as, oh, well, you're not there yet. You haven't fully finished or succeeded in building, you know, a multi-million-dollar business. Yeah, I'm not there yet, but you better bet your ass that I'm going to do the things to get there. Yeah. And doing the things to get there is working on my character, building those blocks, and actually executing on what some of that stuff looks like. The way I network, the way, you know, I spend my free time, what maybe activities that I'm getting involved in. Those are all things that I'm actively doing because I'm working towards my end goal. And that would be my advice to anybody is you're not being fucking fake. Being fake is doing things that you and yourself feel like you shouldn't be doing. If you're living up to your ethic, whoop, I was going to say something. Hold on. If you're living up to yourself morally, ethically, the things and the values that you believe to be true, like fuck what anybody has to say. Like you go out and you build the life that you want and you start doing some of the things that get you there. I don't know. You tell me.
I couldn't agree more, but I also want to back up. In the beginning, you had said, you had heard something along the lines where those haters are the ones that are going to help you build success.
Yeah.
And again, I think this goes back to oftentimes these people that are having these negative comments or things that they're putting in. I personally feel it could very well be their very own insecurities, not yours, right? Number one. Number two, this is a whole other topic that you'll get me on a tangent. Our society drives me crazy when someone comes with a goal or they're working towards something and we pick it apart and we're negative and we tear people down rather than rise them up and lift them up. Like, if there's anything people take from this salty podcast, rise people up, celebrate their wins. Yeah. You may not agree with how they're doing it or you may not understand it, but tell them how proud of them you are. Yeah. Tell them that what they're doing is courageous and that they're so brave to step into their own power and to do something big. Yeah. Get off my tangent, but I think that
I like this so much. Keep going.
But it happens on so many things, right? Yeah. You know, what you're going to name your baby, you know, the job that you're going to take. People will tell you all the reasons why you'll fail or the reasons why it's not great, rather than pointing out why you would be so amazing at that. Yeah. And when you're talking about the way you network, I've seen you for years be able to pivot and adjust a little. Hey, you know what? This isn't really working for me because my end goal is to get here. And you're making those adjustments so that you can get there. Like you said, are you there today? No, ma'am. Yeah. But guess what? You're going to be damn closer than those people hating on you.
Yeah. No, 100%. And it really goes into, again, like who you want to be, what your goals are, and what you're fucking willing to do to get there. Yeah. And you cannot let anybody get in your head or stop you.
No. I think I even was talking to you this week and something was going on and my exact comment was, fuck them.
Hey, I'm going to pause here for a moment. This episode is brought to you by myself, Lindsay Kaufman-Foreign with Coldwell Banker. I am your connection to Utah's luxury lifestyle. Whether you are looking for a modern architectural masterpiece in Salt Lake City or those sweeping valley views in Park City, a mountain retreat, maybe you want to ski in and ski out, I have helped plenty of clients find homes that feel like a reflection of their ambition and taste. From skyline penthouses and foothill estates to ski in, ski out, my focus is high-end service, refined design, and a personalized experience to make every transaction feel effortless. Because in Utah, luxury isn't about flash, it's about freedom, space, quality, and that lifestyle that comes with it. Are you ready to buy, sell, or invest in the Wasatch most exclusive properties? Connect with me, DM me, or you can email me, and that link will be here. Thanks so much. There's so many things that we're all working towards. I try to be and stay in a good mindset. I strive for growth. I try to stay positive, but sometimes you just need a little reminder. You need to take a step back and think, this problem that was presented to me actually has nothing to do with me. It is almost completely out of my control. So why the fuck would I care? And like you said, fuck them.
Yeah. And what it was causing you to do was be imprisoned in your mind in these thoughts of anxiety and worry about what was going on.
Yeah. Which ended up taking away my time. It was a waste of time at the end of the day. And if I calculated the hours that I felt anxious, unsure, and pissed off, it legitimately probably took away an entire day for me because it interrupted my sleep. I couldn't fall asleep. I was anxious. It started like really bothering me for a 24-hour period. Yeah. Which, bullshit.
All right, I have a thought.
Yes.
You and I have been in the geriatric healthcare realm for a long time. And I would say particularly home health, hospice, or, rehabilitation in some sort of fashion. Yeah. And these patients oftentimes end up using all their good energy because they're fighting to push forward. And sometimes, like on the opposite end, like with hospice patients, you would recommend, like, let's not use the good energy towards that. Let's use it towards quality.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the mental fortitude that you have to have when you get into this is, I'm not going to allow this person or this circumstance or the way that I'm thinking rob me of my good energy.
Yeah.
We only have so much of it, and we have to make sure that we're maximizing that output for ourselves so that we feel our best, so that we can show up for other people the way that we want to. And I think that no longer tolerating people to still that good energy, and when we're recognizing it, being able to speak our truth.
Yeah. And it goes into like placing boundaries.
Yeah.
And saying no.
Yeah.
I've actually gotten really good and better at saying no to things. I've been working on it.
I still work on it.
No, I've really been working on it. Like, I don't know, like, for example, I've had, like, obviously I share custody of my kids, and I have my kids, you know, like 50-50. And a lot of things have been coming up, especially like with the holidays coming close, to do certain like parties or events or meetings, whatever. And they usually are falling on the days that I have my kids. And I feel like I'm the personality that sometimes thinks like, oh, I can get it all figured out. I can do it all. I can, you know, do A, B, and C, and everything will be fine. But what I'm finding is when it's on days that like I have my kids, or even days that I don't have my kids, because sometimes when I don't have my kids, I select those days to like get caught up in organization or housework, or the weekends that I, you know, do my podcasting is when I don't have my kids. So it's not interruptive. But what I was finding is that I couldn't do it, and I was getting pissed off because I felt like it was taking time away from the important things that I wanted to do. So I've been getting invited to things, and especially like I said with the holidays, like I just tell people no. And I don't have to give a reason, but sometimes I'm like, nope, you know what? This is the day I have my children. I actually don't plan on things these days. Like, meh.
You're protecting that good energy.
Yeah, protecting the energy, the time, and where I want to put my energy. Because if it's not going to do, if where I'm placing my energy is not going to like amp me up and I'm excited about it, like why do it at this point?
Yeah. I think that comes down to the people that you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
Even sometimes in your profession. There might be times where we're choosing a certain profession and it is filling our cup at one time, and it might turn to a point to where it starts draining it.
Yeah.
Right? I think we've both been there.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And as we're getting close to the holidays anyway, what is today? We're like in December, right?
Oh, sheesh. It's like the 6th.
Like what day is it? I don't even know if I can tell you. Like I'm still decorating for Christmas. But, well, okay. Yes, I am still I'm kind of decorating for Christmas. But I realized this year, which is funny, talk about like being, not necessarily like being in your own mind, but it's amazing how our minds work and how our bodies work. Because I'm going on the 2-year anniversary of my brother passing away on Christmas. And my husband brought up to me this morning, he was like, hey, are you okay? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you haven't been decorating for holidays. He's like, I'm just checking in with you. Are you okay? And I was like, oh, well, I've been busy. And he's like, okay, well, are you okay? And then I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm not thinking about it mentally like every day, like, oh, it's the 2-year anniversary, but I'm not doing things that I typically would because this is approaching and it's affected how I execute.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
I don't know.
I've seen that in you. And I would say with the past about month and a half with some events in your life, like hasn't made it any easier. That's for sure.
Yeah. 2 more people, my grandparents passing away. So weird.
Yeah.
That was so crazy. And death is so interesting to me, even though like I've worked in so much with death and hospice and things, until it happens or hits you personally, it's just so different. But yeah, the last few weeks have been crazy. And I think it's a good point of conversation because and this is the reason I bring it up, is we're talking about being in our own minds and having to overcome some of this stuff. Sometimes it's not necessarily what we might be worried about or people thinking. I think sometimes there is fear, shame, forgiveness that needs to be had. And maybe we're not going to fully understand the why. I know that sometimes I struggle with my brother passing away because I know why he did, but I'm really pissed off that he did. And so it's trying to get over the anger. I think sometimes everybody gets stuck in their own minds for so many different reasons. And when I say imprisoned, like I can't stay imprisoned in my mind as to what happened with my brother. Not being able to do certain things like the holidays or decorate for the holidays because that anger is holding me back. And so I think it's a good point of conversation because it's not just sometimes what we're worried about people thinking. There's so many other components that could go into us imprisoning ourselves in our own thoughts. And at the end of the day, like, I know my brother would not want me to not be doing the things that I love to do because he passed away, because I'm really still fucking pissed off about it.
Yeah. No, he was the fun.
Yeah, he was the fun guy.
Like he was next level and you're there too, but
yeah. But it is, and it's something that, I've had to catch myself with in this piece.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, I need to work on this. I need to work on moving forward. I need to work on, forgiveness for this. And it's amazing how it just like comes up.
Yeah.
Like I can be doing anything and suddenly like in my mind, I'm like, whoa, where'd this come from?
Yeah. You mentioned earlier, like it's so important to have people that can pull us out of it. And I think that, I personally, there's someone that I love dearly in my life that as I see them falling into an imprisonment in their mind. And I would say probably depression, self-worth, and being able to have that conversation with them. It's so hard to have that conversation, but it's so important that we show up for these people and that we show them that love and being able to be there for them. And it might not come off great in the beginning or received well in the beginning, but in the end, the power that will come from it. I think back in my life, the crucial feedback that I've been given at times, whether it's my tone, my approach, or the way I word something, those crucial moments have been pivotal for me.
Yeah. Well, and those are things that make us better.
Yeah.
And we have to, digest a little bit.
Yeah.
And I've always been a big believer too, that if you're told something and you're just like, okay, whatever, it's probably not something you need to work on. But if you're given feedback or someone gives you like a remark or hate or whatever, and mentally you keep stewing on it and you're like, I can't believe this. Like, I would never, this is not me, blah, blah, blah. You might need to look at it. Because if you're stewing on it and it's bugging you that bad, you might fucking do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is hard to get feedback sometimes, or to listen to maybe how you have affected somebody or your energy has affected somebody. But we all need it to get better.
Yeah.
And when we're seeing somebody that needs that improvement as well, I think it's important to not brush the shit under the rug, to approach it and have those hard conversations.
Yeah. How great is it that, you have someone like your husband or a friend or someone to be able to come to you and say those things.
I know.
In those
Thank
moments.
God I have you guys. Because I can get in my own head a lot. And sometimes it's not even just like negative thoughts. Sometimes I get in my head of all of the things that I need to do. And I'm like getting creative of like my thinking and what I want to do, here on the podcast or here in the business or with my real estate. And I realized that I haven't talked to anybody for a really long time. And that people in my house, like, I'm just there in my head and people are just going around me.
Yeah.
Like that too. Like, and I guess it comes with kind of being present.
Mm-hmm.
And those are things that I have to work on too. So sometimes it's not just negative.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's literally me getting down from the fucking clouds
Yeah.
and being present as to what is actually going on
Yeah.
in life that day.
So true. Recently on this imprisonment, I've been thinking about it when it comes to professional careers.
Uh-huh.
I was reflecting back on maybe 4 years ago. Gosh, your mental health is so important.
Yeah.
I remember you and I both looking in the mirror and going, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Like, we presented ourselves in a way that we had never. And it's because we allowed this anxiety and these thoughts of this ideology of what we needed to be like to fit that mold within either that certain organization's mold or what that industry says is this is what you need to be successful. And what's fascinating is fast forward to now is being able to speak our truth.
Mm-hmm.
They're missing out on a lot of success. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. No, 100%. And kind of getting stuck in that mindset. It's amazing to look at photos. I was talking about this the other day. I'm like, if you saw a photo of me like 4 years ago, you'd be like, whoa.
I'll never forget one of our employees like sent me a picture 2 years later, like a screenshot that came up of Zoom screen. And I was like, man, that girl looks like she's been rode hard and drug out wet.
Just done. It is. I like my skin color.
Yeah.
My inflammation.
Yeah.
I mean, everything about me. I was like, whoa, who in the fuck is that person? But it's true. Yeah. And when you are at your best self, highest self, truest self, you look like it, you feel like it, you execute that way. And I think that the energy that you're putting off that you get back from other people fills that cup even more because of your presence in that. And that's really being your truest self and not playing small. 100%.
Yeah.
And you might be doing things to get there, right? Like, for example, let's say you're wanting to own your own business or you're making a transition and you're still working, you're still W-2 and you're putting towards this business or you're working towards that every day, per se. You can still feel that way because you're doing things to become who you want. It's not necessarily that you have to wait to get there. Because if you're actively participating in making the moves to that goal, you are actually already living that goal.
Yeah.
And you feel better.
I've got a good topic for us with being imprisoned in your own thoughts. Forgiveness.
Ah, shit. You're actually really good at this. You've given me really good points.
Ooh, can you remind me?
A lot of our friendship. I'll say when you move a little further in your statement.
Okay. I think there's a lot of elements when it comes to forgiveness. Forgiving yourself for your own actions. Forgiving other people. Forgiving circumstances. You were just talking about one of those, right?
Yeah.
Man, that can keep you caged for a long time. Yeah. And that's brutal when you can't forgive and move past. Recently, I feel like I've had to kind of forgive that you were just talking about being aware and present and I've had to give myself some grace and forgiveness and the fact that, I haven't been the most present. I've been really busy. I've been really stressed. I've got a lot going on my plate. it's hard to talk yourself through that. I'm a lot better at giving the advice than I am taking the advice.
Yeah.
And I think often sometimes when I'm giving it, I'm like, if I could only do that myself, that'd be great.
Yeah. No, it's true. And that's why I think like listening and embracing a lot of these conversations are because they're reminders. Like if you don't have a reminder to think about these things or do, like you kind of get stuck.
Yeah. Recently, I would say that I've also had to forgive someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that when it comes to forgiveness, you can't hold a personal attachment to it. And that's the biggest thing. And I think it's hard to release it and back to the fuck them, but let them,
Let
them. And
yeah, Mel Robbins, let them. That is a good theory. I mean, her theory, I follow her theory on that a lot.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, the only person you're responsible is yourself, your own thoughts, your own behavior, and they're responsible for theirs.
Yeah.
Right. And it'll come twofold.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. And so what I said, I'll take you to one of the examples, was when we were younger and going through all the things that we went through with having young babies, breaking up those relationships that we shouldn't be in with, their fathers and all that jazz. You told me that we were going to go write letters and we were going to write it all out, boom, 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 and rip it up and let it go. And we did.
Yeah.
We went out to Make Out Point and Draper again, where you now live, and we ripped them up and we let it out. Like we literally wrote everything down that we needed to say and ripped it up and let it go and moved on. And it wasn't necessarily like, forgiving in a sense of like, oh, we forgive you, we can get back together, or I forgive you, we can be best friends, No, not fuck that. Like sometimes forgiveness is, I am forgiving the situation, I am forgiving myself, the person, what happened, to let that go so I can move the fuck on and this doesn't imprison me anymore in my mind.
Yeah, protecting that good energy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Back to protecting energy, taking that personal accountability of, okay, you know what? Here's some areas that I need to improve on, but I'm going to let this go. I think that pen to paper, like we were saying earlier, write your goals as if you've achieved them.
Yeah.
And if you need to let something go, write it down, rip it up, burn it, however you want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Get rid of it. Let it go. There's something so freeing to it.
Yeah. No, 100%. And it makes everything better.
Yeah. Back to the personal accountability, one of the big things when I had to forgive myself for, something really big and a choice that I had made, taking ownership was a big part of forgiveness for myself and just kind of the situation, like you said.
Yeah.
Taking ownership that, you know what, I actively participated and I chose that in my life at that time. So I am not a victim. Because if there's anything that was almost hard, as people would come to me almost like, oh, I'm so sorry you had to go through that. And it's like, no, I am so proud that I had to go through that because that's helped make me who I am today. And I actively chose to participate because I chose to stay.
Yeah.
And I was there and I was allowing certain behaviors. And guess what? I'm moving on. I'm forgiving that happened. And we're going to just make myself better from there.
Yeah. No, 100%. Salty truth of the day. People ask me like, oh, did you get pregnant because of like Mormonism? I'm like, no. I got pregnant because I was hanging out at kegs, drinking, smoking pot, and hanging out with the wrong boys at age 16. Accountability factor.
Accountability. And back to your circle. My dad told me when one of my friends got pregnant before me, he said, you are who you hang out with. And I was like, no. Not me.
And we end up having kids 9 days apart.
That's them. That's not me.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was so true.
Yeah.
But one thing he did teach me in that was that personal accountability is, all right, you've made this decision. You've got options. Consider them. And once I made my decision, it was walking me through, here's what you need to do to succeed. And it was up to me from that point.
Yeah.
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 It was, you made your bed, now sleep in it.
Now you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And you do. Like, when you make a choice and you make decisions, it is your own responsibility to figure it the fuck out, do what you need to do, and become the best person that you can. Yeah. And sometimes it's not even like it was a, bad decision. It's just you're accountable for what you do and what you put into things and the decisions that you make. And you get to play with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
even if you made a bad decision, who gives a shit? You don't have to be stuck in your own head about it. Like, people make bad decisions all the time.
I'm grateful for my bad decisions.
Me too. They've made me who I am. They've literally created the life that I want. Like, I wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't be best friends if we didn't make some of the decisions that we made.
No.
Our kids wouldn't have grown up together, all sorts of things. I don't even care. Yeah, I got knocked up as a teenager. It's the best thing I ever did.
Yeah. I'll never forget my oldest son. He came home from school one day and he was telling me that one of his friends got an A- or like a B or something that was still good grade, right?
Yeah.
And this individual was so upset. And, I've always taught my kids, as long as you are putting your absolute best self forward and when you reflect and you look back, and if you identify something you can do better, you change it next time, right?
Yeah.
But as long as you're putting your best self forward, I have no problem with that. Because we all know I'm a recovering, or trying to be every single day, recovering perfectionist of myself, right? Not other people, but me. And, when people get caught up in that, even at a young age, you watch kids do this, they're getting caught up and they're imprisoned in their own mind about this anxiety, fear, or thoughts or ideologies of what they should be in order to get to where they want to be. Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, I love it. Makes me laugh. Just kind of thinking back, I don't know. Good stuff. Well, I think that's some good tidbits for everybody. And I know that I'm pulling some things today that I'm thinking, okay, these are some things I need to work on. These are some things I need to do to get out of my own head. And it's something that we have to do all the time. Because life happens. Shit happens. And you might get stuck.
You will get stuck.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of might. You will.
Yeah.
So what do you do to get out of it?
Yeah. And who can you call?
Yeah.
Who can you call that'll say, excuse me, fuck them, or you need to stop doing what you're doing to yourself?
If you don't have a number one bitch, I suggest you find one.
Yeah. There's the salty truth of the day. I love it.
1-800-SALTY-BITCH.
Hey, we should get that going. Can people just call in 1-800-SALTY-BITCH and like drop their salty truth?
Ooh,
I like it.
I see where we're going.
Yeah. Like the old school, when you would like dial in on the radio.
Yeah.
And you're like trying to hear yourself on the radio and like play my favorite song. Like, that's what we need.
I'm having like visions of the era of Kissed by a Rose.
Oh, yeah, because that's like the stuff that you would remember like dialing over and over again, like just waiting for them to pick up. I mean, you would be like sometimes 30 minutes to an hour on hold just waiting to be like, can I play this song? Like, that's crazy.
Well, I think that's why people are they need it now, because we have everything at our fingertips these days, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, like we literally have to request for a song to be played.
Or if you had a tape recorder and it got pulled out,
oh yeah,
like twist it back in and hope it wasn't scratched in between.
Yeah, or like the life of CDs. Man, remember having like a 6 CD changer in your car?
Ooh yeah, that was, you were big baller if you had 6.
Yeah. I think my rodeo didn't even have a CD player. It had the tape that you would put in that was connected to like a Discman. Yeah, that was in the Honda too, wasn't it?
Walkman.
Yeah, the Walkman, whatever it was, and it would play that way. And then I think my Jeep my Jeep had a 6 CD changer, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
Because you could have like 6 in there at a time and just alternate through the 6. Oh, that was crazy. But I once had a CD get stuck, and that's the only music that would play in my Jeep was that one soundtrack over and over and over. It was awful.
Yeah. You were imprisoned in the one single track playing over and over and over. So people, how do you get a 6-disc CD in your head, or how do you get an iPad in your head to change that thought?
Change that thought. Goodbye. New song, please. That's so good. All right. Well, I guess we will wrap up for today. So thanks for coming back and being my co-host in December. I guess we'll see you in January. Do you like how I keep like luring you into this? I'm like, oh, my co-host, she'll be back.
Well, I think it's work because now I'm like, buy my salties.
See? The Salty Club. In fact, did you see that cute comment that someone posted that was like, how do I get an application to join this type of friendship or something?
Oh,
it was so
that's meaningful.
Cute. I know it was.
Because it's just authentic.
It was. Yeah. And the person that said it's darling. I'm not going to like say any names, obviously, because of confidentiality, but it was so cute. And I was like, yeah, applications open, bitches. Like, be a salty. Anybody can join. Like, this is the salty gang. Like, let's go.
Hell yeah. The more the merrier, because you know what? It's going to be a force to be reckoned with if people can get out of their own minds, step into their bold truth.
Yeah.
And just continue to move forward.
Yeah. And be who you are, because you're a badass bitch, baby. I know it. Everyone is. All right. Well, now we will wrap up. I think I'm off my soapbox. All right, Salties, thank you so much for joining Zale and I today. Please remember to follow the podcast. And if you have somebody that you feel like could learn from this podcast today, I encourage you to share it with them. Other than that, remember, we are dropping episodes every Wednesday at 8 a.m. We have our new Salty Truth segment. And like I had mentioned earlier, we have moved from Salty City Podcast to the Salty Truth, because why? That is what we are dropping here on this podcast, the Salty Truth, baby. And Salty Truth takeaway today: get the fuck out of your own mind, because if you don't, you're going to stay stuck there. It is going to be your tape recording. Your CD is going to be stuck. You have to change the music. You got to change the song. You are a badass, and please join our salty gang. All right. Love you all, and see you next time.